And welcome to the Tom Sawyer Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm Grant Wall, joined, as always, by Winona State head football coach Tom Sawyer. And Coach, it was a very entertaining game to watch on Saturday in Marshall, Minnesota. An overtime game, lots of points, lots of excitement, but a game that the Warriors were on the short end of the stick, a 51-44 loss to Southwest Minnesota State. What was your message to the team? They put up a lot of points, but also surrendered a lot of points. What did you tell them after the game was over?
Well, they played a pretty good game. I mean, offensively, we really exploded. You know, I've never been around, a thing that we got going this year. It's like kind of like bad luck Charlie. You go for 701 yards. You got a freshman quarterback throws it 40 of 60 or 40 of 59 for over 400 yards and have almost 40 minutes of possession time and you don't win the game. It's bizarre to me. But I just told them, hey, we got to stick in there. This week we play for the seniors, and it's one of those years. We all wish it was different, but we're handicapped. We got a lot of guys. We had 10 starters standing on the sideline in the middle of that game, so we're just beat up and depleted. But it's also a great chance for other kids to come in and play, and had a chance to win. Go into overtime, and you got a freshman quarterback throwing it, and he's got two guys at receivers that aren't really on part of the rotation at the beginning of the year, and here they are catching balls for us. So got everything we could out of that team, and of course we wish we would have won. Very upset that we didn't, but nonetheless it was a lot of points and a fun day, beautiful day, and all that. We just it's just hard to get back on the bus and come home when you don't have a win.
And really the story of Saturday begins with Jack Nelson. You mentioned he was 40 of 59 throwing the football. Those are both school records. Threw for 425 yards. That's almost a school record. It's the third time that a Warrior has thrown for at least 400 yards. We seem to talk about Jack every week and talk about how well he's playing, but this is a guy who has just taken his play to another level.
Yeah, I mean, he's phenomenal. I mean, we had no idea we had 100 plays in the game. Mm-hmm. We never do that, and we huddle.
Right.
So I don't know. Right. I don't understand. Why would they start the clock over 2 or 3? Maybe we played 5 quarters. I'm not sure what the story was, but he came out. He had some balls that he could bring back. I mean, he threw a couple balls out of bounds or touchdowns that he just missed, and you kind of look at it and go, man, that was a miss. And you look at the stats at the end of the day, and we threw almost 300 in the first half, and it was amazing. And I cannot wait till he grows up and see what he does. So we got fun.
Let's put this in perspective a little bit. He's already in the program's career top 20 for total offense, which is incredible for a freshman.
Yeah, he's only had 8 starts. I mean, he's got a long ways to go. Got to keep him healthy and do all those things, but. He's way beyond what we thought and hoped for with this kid this year, and again, I wish we'd have shirted him. Mm-hmm. Still to this day, I mean, he's doing great things for us, but if 4 years from now, we wish we had him again. Right. But I'm very excited for him. He's handled it very well. He's growing every day. There's some new things going. Wow, I never saw that before. Well, last year at this time he was in the high school playoffs, and that's how fast that happens. But he's been great.
Another guy who wasn't playing football at this time last year is Tony Mueller, a guy who was playing baseball in the Atlanta Braves organization and is now a member of your football team. And he had just a fantastic day, 11 catches for 130 yards. Really a coming out party for a guy who we always knew he was athletic and could play, but seems to be really starting to grasp what he's doing.
Well, yeah, it took him a little while to become a football player, and he got whacked a couple times in the game. So he's like, Coach, this is tough business. And I said, yeah, you slide into second base a couple times, you could bump into somebody, but this is a little different. But 11 catches, touchdown again, made some big time catches in the middle of the field, diving around. But you looked at the beginning of the year, and we had Josh Mikas and Cameron Johnson and Alan May. We finished the game with Tony Mueller, Harrison Barton, and Alan May, and Tony was the go-to guy. So over the course of the year, we've had to just evolve with some injuries, and he has really stepped up to be a guy that we count on, and we put him in positions to make plays for us, and he's doing it.
Another guy who made plays on Saturday was Cam Johnson, 9 catches, 2 of those touchdowns before going down with an injury in the second half. But we talk about a freshman like Jack Nelson. Well, Cam's just a freshman himself. Another one of those young talents that you have on this football team.
Yeah, I mean it's all around us. I mean, we talk about Alan May and Josh Mikas too. They're only sophomores, and then you come in with Cam Johnson. He had 2 great catches over the top of DBs and threw it up. And Cam and him and the quarterback Jack, those guys really have a good thing for each other right now, and it's working well. But then he went out in the third quarter, so all of a sudden we don't have him either, and so it's just one of those years. It's bizarre, but you look at that skill, and we're almost starting to get excited about next year already because of all the young talent we do have.
One other guy in the offense to talk about, Chichi Ojika, 190 rushing yards, had 350 yards on the day when you count his kick return numbers. But a guy he's gone over 1,000 yards in his first full season as a running back. I have to be just so pleased with the way he's finishing up his Warrior career.
I tell you what, he is inspired. Just watching him inspires others as well. But just he came out. It's his time. It's his turn. And for him to go over 1,000 yards with that little body and running around, I mean, he has been durable. He's stayed healthy. He plays as hard as he can on every snap. And you see it. All of a sudden, he's got a 72-yard touchdown, a kick return. And he stumbles on the one, didn't take it in the house. But really, the whole thing is that kid has been an inspiration to other kids. And to be a small back, to play in that kind of rugged league that we play in, to rush for 1,000, it's unbelievable.
And as we talk about all these individuals on the offense, a group that can't go without being mentioned is the offensive line. And we'll talk to offensive line coach Tony Spencer here in a little bit. But it's a group, a lot of consistency on that group, and a group that's playing very, very well.
Yeah, of course, we're led by 3 seniors there with Jake Lilla and James Pollock and Corey Christensen. I mean, those guys have been playing together now for 3 years, and Jake's been a starter for 4. So, yeah, that's we knew that. We knew that was what we expected out of those guys. And in fact, maybe our expectations were even way too high for those guys. I don't know, but we just knew that was a group that we could count on. And 99% of the time, we can. And they did another great job this weekend. When you're putting up 700 yards, it's because you're protecting a quarterback and blocking people so we can run the football, and they did that.
As we turn the page on Southwest Minnesota State, we look forward this weekend to a game against Augustana, a team that doesn't have an explosive offense like some of them that we've seen the last few weeks, but has a really, really good defense, and so a game that might be a little challenging for the Warrior offense.
Yeah, I think so, and that's good. That's what we want. We're looking forward to playing against Augie coming in here. They're a good football team. We're about the same record, those kind of things. So they've had some games. They've played people tough, but they're not the explosive offense that they have been in the past. But they can score. But their defense has only given up about 16 a game. So they're 4th in the league right now in total defense, and be a good challenge for us. Be a good challenge for a young quarterback and the guys up front we're going to count on again and to go do it for their last game here at Maxwell Field.
It'll be senior day here in Winona, saying goodbye and one last home game to a group of seniors that I know is really special to you.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you bring these guys in, and most of them are homegrown, and what I mean by that is they came in, they redshirted, they're here 5 years later. Most of them are that way. We have 13 seniors going out this weekend, and great kids. And some kids are stars, and some kids are program kids, but they're all the same important to us. And you know what? They're all going to graduate too. So we're excited about that group, and we're truly going to miss them because they just have been a group that's been around and have a lot of playing experience over their career.
So Saturday is senior day. Then one more game on the Warrior schedule, and that's a game at Concordia St. Paul, a game that has been moved to Sunday that last week of the season. It will be played in the Metrodome in kind of a special way for your kids to go out this year.
Well, it really is, and I was with the program in 1982, and we played our first game in the Metrodome, and so here we're going to be the last college team to play there. So it's kind of right. I think it's kind of one of those things. It's cool to play where the professional teams play, and as a Packer fan, it's hard for me to get excited about it. But no, for our kids to go in the dome and be part in their locker rooms and feel the big time. So let it snow, and we'll play indoors. But we're excited. It's a great treat for our guys to be able to go up there and play indoors this time in November.
2 weeks left here of this regular season for the Warriors, and it'll be a good one on Saturday against Augustana, and then a fun one to end the year against Concordia in the Metrodome. When we come back, we're going to take one last look at the Southwest Minnesota State game, see all the highlights.
Come join Winona State football in honoring our veterans on Saturday, November 9th at 1 o'clock as your Warriors host Augustana. All veterans, active duty, and reserve military personnel receive a free ticket at the game with military ID, as well as an invitation to take part in our flag and national anthem ceremony before the game. Everyone is invited to help us honor America and those who protect our freedom. For more details, call Winona State Athletics at 507-457-5577.
Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. Coach, a lot of offense on Saturday against Southwest Minnesota State. Let's go right to the highlights. Lots of fireworks Saturday against Southwest Minnesota State, and it started right away. Opening kickoff of the game, Chichi Ojika, and he almost breaks this one.
Yeah, he starts about the 10-yard line and had great blocking up front, and then he just used his speed, and of course we gave him a hard time. He got knocked out of bounds about the 1-yard line from the kickers you see here, but that's a great run. I thought he was going to pass out cold there at the end, but
He was just tired.
Well, and to set up this, a Jordan Cost touchdown to get the Warriors on the board right away.
Yeah, it was a great way to start the game, and unfortunately we missed the extra point. Got blocked, and it took away some of our momentum, but still a great way to start the game.
Defensively, the Warriors, that's a great pass breakup by Terrell Foster. Now the Warriors get the ball back. Jack Nelson, a screen pass to Chi-Chi.
Yeah, and again, watch him do his thing. You can see how fast he is, blowing up in the middle of that. The guy just barely got a piece of him, or he might have scored there too.
And that sets up Jordan Cost's second touchdown of the afternoon.
Yeah, he did a nice job following the blockers out front. You can see people getting laid on the ground. Another freshman, Zach Olstead, there, tipping that guy upside down and getting in the end zone.
Jack Nelson had a fantastic day throwing the football. He's going to connect with Tony Mueller down the middle on this one.
Well, I told Tony it's like going and climbing the wall in center field, but yeah, you watch how he elevates here and makes the catch down the pipe.
That's just a great catch from a throw by Jack Nelson. Now the Warriors on defense getting pressure, not letting the quarterback get the ball out.
Yeah, it's Morgan Weaver coming off the edge. I mean, he was there in a hurry. Really fun to see.
Jack Nelson under center this time. And a great offensive day by the Warriors, and a big part of that is Chi-Chi Ojika.
Yeah, 190 yards on the day. Big runs like this. I think he had 4 runs of over 20 yards, so it was a really fun day for him.
And here's Tony Mueller again. He had 11 catches. That one almost into the end zone.
Yeah, we had a couple of those almost in theirs, but we got in the end zone nonetheless, but he had a big day for us.
You're going to see Jack Nelson hit Cam Johnson for a touchdown.
Yeah, 1 of 2 on the day. I mean, he's just overmatched on the corner and really did a nice job at Jack's touch. He just puts it up there and lets Cam do the work on the DB.
Not much the defense can do about that one. Now the Warriors on defense, Parker Detchin's getting into the backfield.
Yeah, he really played well. I mean, they really held him up as much as they could, but he played well for us.
And Jack Nelson, talk about a little elusivity getting away from that one.
Nice. Yeah, he's just a great athlete, and I don't really like to see him do this very often, but he can escape. His pocket presence is fantastic.
Chi-Chi Ojika, and he's going to hit a hole and go.
Yeah, again, it's just flat out speed. He took a shot there at the end, but he can run.
Here the Warriors are again on the offensive end, and this is again Chi-Chi Ojika getting out in space.
Well, you saw the 2 pullers out there, and those guys getting out in front of him. It's really fun to watch and see it from the end zone here. Watch the left side of your screen. Those guys pulling out. There's Vance Ross. There's our fullback, freshman Zach Olstead, still laying on the guy.
Now a pass to Tony Mueller, makes somebody miss, and keeps going.
Well, and Cam, he's a freshman too out there, so he didn't realize that he thought the play was over. But, again, great athletes can find a way to keep their balance. And watch this. It's unbelievable. Got hit by 2 guys, and he's still going. If Cam would have saw me, all he had to do is kind of big butt him, and he walked in.
Now Jack back to pass again, hits Cam. Cam gets the glory on this one. Touchdown pass from Jack.
This is unbelievable. Watch from the end zone, right-hand side of your screen. Right hand over the top of the kid, makes the catch with 1 hand.
It's an incredible play by Cam Johnson. He had 9 catches on the afternoon. Warriors with the ball again. Harrison Barton making this catch.
Yeah, getting our senior into the game, and it became a significant part of the game down the stretch.
Now this is Paul Preston, and he had a really good day running the ball as well.
Yeah, he did. He had close to 100 yards himself and ran well, and it's nice to see him healthy again.
Jack Nelson back to pass. This time, Tony Mueller finds the end zone.
Well, Jack threw it all the way to the end zone, so that helped Tony. No, it's a good catch. You'll see it right at the goalpost here. Another athletic catch, and he held on to it as he got hit.
The Warriors 701 yards of offense on the day. This is Paul Preston getting out in space.
Yeah, again, our team speed on the offensive side is very good right now. We make one more stop in the game somewhere along the way, or one more big play offensively, and we win. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done this week.
Warrior defense making a stop on that play. And here again, getting pressure on the quarterback. That's Toby Frisby with the sack.
Yeah, Toby's been playing great. He had another block punt in the game, and a significant part of this team.
And they're stringing out that play, not letting Southwest get anywhere. And here's Chi-Chi Ojika, and boy, watch these moves. That's just fun, all the way to the end zone for a touchdown. 72 yards.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's just fun to watch him, and one of our prides on the running backs is make somebody miss or make them pay. Well, he did both there.
And now play action, finding Alex Jensen.
Alex has just been a great addition, catching the ball more and more for us all the time, and he's truly become a great weapon in the league.
Last play, Paul Preston.
Again, just running hard, he's fast, he makes people miss, and pretty excited because he's a freshman too.
Those are all the highlights from the Warriors game in Marshall against Southwest Minnesota State. When we come back, I'm going to sit down with Warrior defensive lineman Tom Frisby.
Come join Winona State football in honoring our veterans on Saturday, November 9th at 1 o'clock as your Warriors host Augustana. All veterans, active duty, and reserve military personnel receive a free ticket at the game with military ID, as well as an invitation to take part in our flag and national anthem ceremony before the game. Everyone is invited to help us honor America and those who protect our freedom. For more details, call Winona State Athletics at 507-457-5577.
Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show here on the Warrior Sports Network. I'm joined now by Winona State defensive lineman Tom Frisby. And Toby, we'll get into the defense here in a little bit, but the first thing we have to talk about with you this year is something else you're doing on the field, and that's getting to the kicker. You've got 5 blocked kicks this season, had another one on Saturday against Southwest Minnesota State. A blocked kick isn't something that you see a whole lot in college football, but you've managed to make it kind of a routine. How has that happened?
I really have to say just effort and keep pounding away at it, I guess. Our special teams coordinator, Zach Barton, does a great job of scheming things up every week, so just follow the plan and see how it goes.
Now, when you're getting ready to rush the kicker, is there kind of a technique involved that you use, or do you just try to go as hard as you can and get there?
I don't know. Sometimes I just feel it in my body. Like, sometimes you're static. You've been sitting on the sideline for a little bit. But most of the time, you can just feel the good juices going, I guess you could say, and give you that little extra to get the job done, I guess.
And that's when you know that there might be a block kick in the future, when you can feel that a little bit?
Yeah, just a little bit. It's kind of weird.
Take us back to the kick on Saturday against Southwest Minnesota State. Just take us through that play and what let you get to the kicker.
Well, we got a couple guys freeing up the guard so I can basically get to the shield for free. And then I got there and I've been running there all day, and the kid saw me. It didn't look like he wanted anything to do with me. He kind of buckled up, and that's a no-no, especially back there. And then he just kind of hit him right on the kicker.
And that's when you got to it. The kid didn't want any business with you.
Yeah.
Just run right through him and get to the kicker. Now, it's not just you that's been blocking kicks this year. The Warriors as a team lead the country in kick blocks, so it's been an entire group effort. How much do you work on getting to the kicker and getting to that football in practice?
A pretty good amount. We work on it pretty much every day in practice that we can. Squeeze in 5-10 minutes here or there, and then keep going right before game day and letting it play through.
What's the most important thing Coach Barton tells you when you're going after a kicker?
Don't close your eyes, and you got to know the block points you're at. So just pretty much use those 2 things and get your hands there.
See what you got in front of you and just go, right?
Yep.
Let's transition now to the defense. A tough one on Saturday against a really explosive Southwest Minnesota State team. Now you've got Augustana, a team that isn't quite as explosive as some of the other teams that you faced the last few weeks. What's the message and what's the emphasis on defense this week?
Pretty much do what we do and get the job done, really. We had a decent game last Saturday, but the little details kind of tripped us up in the long run. So we got to put together a full package and then put that product out on the field.
How you see it seems like a different style of quarterback each week. Sometimes you get a guy who can run a lot, who runs the option. Kind of like the guy you saw in Mankato a couple weeks ago and a couple others. You've got guys who can sling the ball all over the place like Upper Winona has. You see a different type of quarterback each week. How difficult is it to get ready to go against a guy with a different skill set each Saturday?
Pretty much as a player, I guess, we leave that up to the coaches, and then they present us with how they want to take care of the situation. And by week 4 or 5, you've pretty much seen all the different combos that can be thrown at you. So pretty late in the season here, so we just pretty much got to drop a game plan and get to work.
Take me through a week as far as game planning is concerned. When do you start really looking at your opponent in earnest to get ready for that Saturday's game?
I believe the coaches do it over the weekend, but us as players, we'll look at the stuff on Sunday or Monday during the day, and then we'll get right on meetings Tuesday morning. So pretty much from Tuesday morning on through to the game is when we take a look at the film.
Saturday's the final home game of the season. Then the week after that, you go on the road to play Concordia St. Paul. A little bit of a different game. It's played on a Sunday, and it's going to be played in the Metrodome. You're a kid from the Twin Cities area. How cool is it to be able to go home and play a game in the Metrodome?
I'm actually still shocked that it's kind of happening because I didn't get to play there in high school, so I've been kind of calling on my friends and telling them, hey, I got to play in the Metrodome. You guys got to come, otherwise, you know.
That's right. It's one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences that you get to have. Now Saturday against Augustana, senior day, last home game of the regulars or of the season for the Warriors. What do you have to do to go get a win against Augustana?
Just do what we do best, I guess, play for each other. You know, it is the last home game, so tension, everything's going to be kind of high. And just look at the guys we have and just go get the job done.
All right. Well, it's going to be a fun one on Saturday, 1 o'clock against the Vikings. When we come back, going to sit down with Winona State assistant coach Tony Spencer.
Come join Winona State football in honoring our veterans on Saturday, November 9th at 1 o'clock as your Warriors host Augustana. All veterans, active duty, and reserve military personnel receive a free ticket at the game with military ID, as well as an invitation to take part in our flag and national anthem ceremony before the game. Everyone is invited to help us honor America and those who protect our freedom. For more details, call Winona State Athletics at 507-457-5577.
Welcome back to the Tom Sawyer Show. I'm joined now by Winona State assistant coach Tony Spencer. And Coach, you work with the offensive line. It's a unit that has been together for a long time, and it's a unit that is really helping spur on what has become a really powerful Warrior offensive attack this year. I guess I'll start with this. What's been working up front for the Warriors?
The main thing is those guys, like you said, have been together for a while, especially coming back from last year's performance. I mean, it's been very, very humbling to be able to coach those guys and the way that they interact with each other. It's a very, very close group, and I couldn't ask anything more of them and what they're doing and trying to get accomplished so far this year.
You mentioned, all the things they've been doing well. What's the biggest thing you've tried to get them to work on this season?
Well, it's all individual based. I mean, other guys have better skills than others at certain things, and it's kind of tell them we're all created equal, and some guys have better footwork than others, but we got to get those other guys caught up. Some guys are better pass protectors than others, and we got to get the ones that aren't caught up. So it's just all individual based more than anything. But I can't express how hard they're busting their butts. I mean, it's very humbling to be able to coach these guys, and I've learned from them just as much as they've learned from me.
It's a group that coming into the season, you had 4 starters back from last year. A group that everybody in that 4 had been starting for 2, 3, 4 in the case of Richard Lilla at center. This is his 4th year starting on that offensive line. You have one newbie in Ben Reiner. It's a freshman. What have you seen out of him so far this year?
Oh, well, Ben, I really wouldn't call him a newbie. He actually did play last year, but Ben is coming to his own. Of course, he is the young buck of the group, but he's fit in well with those guys, and it's been just kind of smooth sailing. I mean, he's started every game this year, and coming off of ACL surgery and tearing up his knee last year. When I got here in the spring, first thing he did was he came up to me and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm looking forward to getting back," and he's been full steam ahead. It's been good. It's very, very, very good with him.
There's been a lot of great continuity on that line this year. All 5 guys have started each one of the Warriors game. A position where we had a change was at quarterback. John Tegelin went down in the first game. True freshman Jack Nelson comes in, has been playing extremely well. But how did having a true freshman under center change what you needed your guys to do?
Well, there's times where, hey, we got to help the freshmen along. And there's times where Lilla, at the beginning of the season, where Lilla had to make a couple calls for him. But since John's been gone and Jack's came in, he's been rocket shot to the moon. He's doing very, very well. Of course, this past week, I mean, seems like every week he's breaking a new Winona State record, which is a good thing. I mean, and I don't quite know all of the quarterbacks that were here before him or what have you, but I'm pretty sure by the time his career is up, he's going to be right up there with the rest of them.
Absolutely. It's an offensive attack that's been very powerful. 701 yards on Saturday against Southwest Minnesota State. What has allowed you to be so productive on offense this season?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, when you have receivers like Josh Mikas and Cam, and you have an offensive line like that, and and running backs, Chi has done a great job. I mean, this is the first time that he's been over 1,000 yards in his career. So even though we didn't get the win this past weekend over Southwest, that was very, very huge. And I know we never try to make it individual accomplishments or what have you, but it's been a collective buy-in by everybody to get the job done.
This Saturday, an Augustana team comes in, play a 4-3 defense, very good on that side of the ball. What's the key to getting some points scored on this Viking defense?
You got to run the ball. That's and that's old cliche, but you got to be able to run the ball. It opens up everything else. And there's some coaches that say you got to pass in order to set up the run, but we know where we like to hang our hat. Now, don't get me wrong, we got the quarterback that can do it. That can whip it around a little bit, but we got to run the ball, and it's going to be a very, very good game. And I'm excited, very, very excited. At the same time, a little sad for these seniors that'll be playing their last game on that field.
That's all the time we have this week on the Tom Sawyer Show. We'll see you next week, right back here.